Hey guys, so I'm walking down from El Capitan in Yosemite. Um, yeah, it's out of this world. It's sunset right now, so I'll have to hike in the dark. It's below freezing temperatures here. But anyways, being out in nature, it's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world, if not my most favorite thing, you know. Um, and I just wanted to talk a little about the natural sources of like euphoria and dopamine and this talk is going to align with the dopamine detox, but I don't want it to be about that. So but anyways, when you go and hike, right? So what did I need to do to come out here and experience this? Maybe I feel very alive and alert on the hike. So what did I need to do to come here? Well, first of all, I needed to plan, I guess, where I'm going to sleep. I needed to take some chunk out of my day. I needed to drive like maybe 8 hours. I needed to find out like which hike to go on. I needed to know where I'm going to sleep, get food, buy this backpack. I forgot to bring a backpack with me. I needed to get all this gear, research this gear. I needed to, the list goes on. And then I needed to hike maybe 6 hours, very strenuous hike, right? To get up here. And I needed to endure the cold. I needed to get lost for a little bit. I needed to be alone, like I was a little lonely. So like there's all of these trials I faced to get here. And on the hike up, like I talked to a friend and that conversation was hard. And like I've just been like like when you walk, things come up because there's nothing to distract you. So this whole experience here was a whole journey to get kind of to one moment, except I really enjoy the whole journey from driving to the beautiful views. But like right now, as I'm talking, I'm not really paying too much attention. And I'm not sure if I got lost, right? I don't think so. This looks like the path. But again, just like I slipped twice on the way here. There's black bears out here. I slept in a hostel and I couldn't sleep last night. So like there's so much that's going on, right, that I'm having to deal with. And I still haven't gotten to the punchline, which is this is a whole experience, but then there's other ways to get, good vibes, such as smoking weed I actually don't like to use that because that is also something that can really help you face hard things. But something such as eating an ice cream or something such as playing a video game for 4 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours, your whole day, right? To do these things, all you need to do is go to the store and hand money or go in front of your computer and sit down and bam, it's right there in front of you. And there's no journey to have to go through to start enjoying these things. No, they're right in front of you. And they are very, 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 very different sources of enjoyment. I'm not saying you don't have struggles when you eat ice cream. So like you have to get off your lazy ass and go to the store, right? And then maybe you eat it and you feel fat afterwards or something. Or I don't know, like there are, but the level, or when you play a video game, maybe you get really upset when you lose and you argue with a friend, whatever, like there's challenges in all of these, but it's a different scope. Like right now, you're watching this on video. I can't capture the euphoria I'm feeling on a video unless you feel into how I feel. When you look at this view, you're not going to feel euphoric because it's on a TV screen. You didn't do all of the things I did to get here. You're just watching this video. And it's great, right? I love watching videos that are informative too. And you can soak in the atmosphere just by, watching it. That's great too. But there's a disconnect there. Like something, for instance, I watch are kirtans sometimes, and it's like chanting, singing, all of these things. But going to kirtan in person, meeting the people around, drinking cacao as well, clapping, singing along, completely different. You can watch a concert at home or you can do the real thing. And this is pretty obvious, right? But we forget this. And it's so much easier to find enjoyment through this little thing, right? Not out here. You see that? That silence is what I'm doing for like the whole day. Just like imagine this video was nothing but this. Just that. Pretty boring, right? Not really, because I'm out here enjoying the crisp air, smelling the trees, enjoying the physical activity. My body's feeling good. I love talking to you guys. So like there's a lot more to it than that. But like it can be hard to shift, like it can be hard to shift wavelengths, right? Especially if you're in a big city. Like it's hard for someone to come out here that's in Los Angeles, for instance. This is Yosemite National Park, and it's like a 6-hour drive, right? And in my past, like I used to not even think it was possible to come out here, just because, well, A, I didn't have a car, and B, the car I did have like would break down pretty easily, and C, I just didn't think it was possible. You can get a bus out here too, you know, like there's infinite things you can do, and you can do this in a weekend. You know, you can bus out here, do a hike, and then come back, right? Like if you wanted to, you could do something like this too in your own neighborhood. There's certainly nature within 2 hours of you, guaranteed. And guaranteed there's probably a way you could get there, whether it's carpooling, hitchhiking, driving, you know. And guaranteed you could shell out the time for it too. But like it takes a lot more effort and a lot more investment. So like there was a time I used to be depressed, right? And it was very hard for me to wake up in the morning. And if you asked me to have that level of commitment then, it was very difficult for me. Something about me is I love nature. So it's actually very enticing and very encouraging for me. Even though sometimes, you know, the drive can be hard or boring or whatever, you know, all the challenges that come along the way. I'm not saying it's always easy, but I really enjoy challenges, and I also really enjoy like this thing. If you told me, hey, we're gonna go drive 6 hours to a football game, you couldn't buy me. I don't give a fuck about football, right? I mean, maybe it could be cool if it was like close and one of my friends is into it, and like you know, I'd be interested. I'm interested, right? But it's a completely different thing. Imagine all the people just watching from home versus going to the game. Going to the game requires you to earn like $100 or something, which can be like 5 to 10 hours of work. And then driving there and the whole hassle of, you know, maybe finding someone to go with you. And like, I don't know, maybe it can be $40, but most people sit on their ass and watch it from home. And this is the trend that's happening. This is the trend that's happening. I'm seeing. You know, I'm not saying it's that, but it's easy even for me to fall into that, you know? I used to play video games 16 hours a day for 26 years, maybe. Right? I'm 28 now. Maybe 26 is a little exaggeration. But I, like, when I was growing up, all I would do is play video games. And also when I was like a young adult, all I would do is play video games for a lot of the time. Not all the time, right? There were periods. But this is completely different, and I've been doing this for maybe like 2.5 years, exploring non-screen life in all. Like for me, video games was my vice. So for some people, it's social media. For some people, it's movies. I know people that watch like 2 movies a day to escape reality. It's easy to escape reality when you don't have these things to like take away your distraction. You start to feel uncomfortable because you feel your pain. I mean, like, let's say you're lonely, bro. You just sit there in a room and there's nothing to take you away from yourself, you're going to start feeling lonely. But at the time, you might not even know it's loneliness. It just might be discomfort. So, like, of course it's going to be uncomfortable at first when we're used to using these screens every time we feel uncomfortable. I want you to notice, I'm not saying you do this, but if you do, notice every time you take your screen, have that as an awareness, like have that as a red flag. Every time you open your screen, be like, wait, why did I do that? And for me, what I've noticed when I did that in the past, and even now, is when something uncomfortable comes up in me, I start to feel uncomfortable about this thing or that thing. I don't know, whether it's whatever it is, sadness, pain, infinite things. Phone is right there to take me away from it. I feel bad, take phone out. It doesn't even do anything. It's just a habit from the past, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's like an addiction, right? The trigger for many of us is when we get bored. I mean, bro, like if like life can be so interesting. If you're bored with your life, that means that there needs to be a shift there, right? And that boredom will help you make that shift and realize why you're bored with it. Right? We all have boredom in our lives. Sometimes I'm bored. So everyone can be bored. I was bored out of my mind on the flight. And then I bought these headphones and I watched a movie, right? And that was actually nourishing. I usually like to just tune into myself during these. I like to stay with the boredom most of the time, right? So I just experiment with different ways of dealing with it. But a lot of the time when I'm bored, I'm like, okay, I'll be bored. And then like, I don't know, some other stuff comes up because... usually boredom comes when like for me at least it covers a different emotion, like I don't know, someone hurt me in the past, or I feel like whatever it is. So it doesn't matter, but the point is that doing something like this, going out and hiking, there's a certain energy and presence. It's going to be uplifting, right? So like I do this, my body feels really good, even though I used it like crazy. I've eaten maybe like 3,000 calories today just to keep the metabolism up, drank a ton of water. And, oh, did I lose my headphones? Nope, they're right here. Let me put them away. Anyways, so the point is, though, that you do stuff like this. It doesn't have to be hiking. That's my thing. You can do anything simple, from lifting weights to playing tennis to just the real thing. The screens give us an out to not go through what we need to go through and avoid the real thing. And like, you know, you can just look at this video and look at like an image of like all the beautiful nature places. Look at drone photography. I mean, a lot of like photography nowadays can capture a lot of the essence of these places, but it is nowhere close, not even 1%, to actually doing it. Now let's take a video game as an example. You play a video game, you have excitement every second, right? You make a crazy play. You can do that every single game, right? You can be disappointed every time. Like, let's say League of Legends, you die, I don't know, 5 times a game, 3 times a game, 7 times. That's disappointment, discouragement, rage, and then you revive again, and maybe there's optimism, trying again, and then there's like, so these medium are designed, especially Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, stuff like this, with reels, 30 seconds, 10 seconds reels, bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? They just get you. And they get you hooked because they give so much variety, but it's not the real thing. It's a fake. You're not getting the real thing. And that's what's so important. You're getting a fake. It's the Matrix, right? They're not giving you that real emotion. You're in a fantasy. The real thing feels 1 billion times better. Like 1 trillion times better. It's real. It's like you're eating fake meat. I guess that's not a good example, but like what? Like it's just, it doesn't have the depth. It's like eating something 2D that's meant to be 3D. And if you're in that 2D world, you can't even describe it. But you know this because you've lived life too. And if you're really addicted to screens, maybe you forgot how it's felt to like be in life, right? This is our generation. This is new to our generation. Smartphones. Everyone has a smartphone. I remember when smartphones and flip phones were separated. Like when I was in like 6th grade, I had a flip phone, and a smartphone was like, whoa, that's new. Now everyone has just there are no phones. It's just smartphone, no home phone. We take this distraction with us in our pocket everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, we have this instant dopamine fix to get away from our problems. What if we just carried a heroin needle around with us, And every time we started to feel uncomfortable, we take that shit out. Like, bold comparison, but like it's on a micro level. I say it to prove a point. This thing, it has its uses, right? I'm not saying it's all bad. Like, there's all the information on the internet. All the information humans have is on here, pretty much. I mean, actually not, but so much, right? Now there's AI, like who knows where it'll be in 5-10 years. So it's getting more and more like crazy. And I don't know if our biology can handle that. Like our minds and our brains have developed to such a level where it's like, yes, we want more, like more is better. I don't know if we can handle that. I don't know if we I think we can't, like I can, right? So I know we can. All I'm saying is it'll get harder and harder. But the thing is, the more our screens take over our lives, the more pain people will be in, because our biology, I feel like, has a very, very good way of like burning us the fuck out and like making us suffer like crazy to the point where we need to change our lives. It's just that it's like, imagine you have a broken leg and you just keep on taking painkillers and painkillers and painkillers until the painkillers don't fucking work anymore and you actually have to heal your leg and you're just walking on a broken leg. That's what's happening with like all these screens, right? When we're using them to get away from our emotions. Each emotion that we shove down is like, you know, just something that's injured that needs that maybe I don't say it like that, but it's like there's a part of ourselves that we are denying by running away from these things, you know, through screens. And so, like, how do I have the energy to talk like this? Yes, I'm here, I'm out here, you know, like, I don't know. It's just here. And, so what do I invite you to do? I mean, it's hard to wean off like screens. Like, I know that. The thing that helped me, like, I was on and off for screens my whole life, right? I'm telling you, I played World of Warcraft 16 hours a day. I wished I could just be in the game and not have like my life here. And now I love my life. Like, I love it so much. There's so many people I connect with and communicate with, and I deal with so many struggles, and I see so much joy and hardship, and it's like a really rich and full life. I mean, you know, like, it doesn't mean I feel comfortable all the time. I maybe felt comfortable all the time when I played video games, but that was a fucking joke because I was actually miserable the whole time and pretending I wasn't. So it's like, okay, that's not the full picture. There was a side of me that like really enjoyed the exploration and the competition. Like there were upsides to it too, for sure. There was so much friendships. But anyways, you're talking to a person who has like literally wished like virtual worlds existed. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch like animes of virtual worlds, and I wish that was real life. Like every anime I'd watch, I wish I could enter that world. So there was like this big dissociation, they call it, from real life. So you're talking to the person that is like the most dissociated. You know what I mean? You're not talking to someone that like didn't have screens when they were growing up. You're talking to someone that like had such a rough childhood that like I needed to use like screens were my only out. You know what I mean? And like coming from that place of like such intense pain, coming to the place of really, really appreciating life fully, even though I always did. Like, I always had a joy for life. Yeah, it's just different. You know what I mean? Like, it was just different. And so you're talking to the person that had this problem, like, the most, if that gives you any clarity. So, like, right now, if you, like, for instance, just go to work and then come back and go on your screen and then go to sleep, and this is your life, like, work, home, sleep, work, home, computer, sleep. That was also me. And I didn't have a life, right? And so why am I saying that? Because I want to say that, like, it is something you can get out of. This is a pattern that is shiftable slowly but surely. You can start facing life. And again, I think I have lost the trail. I think it's down there though. That looks about right. Okay. Anyways. Whew. Yeah. So this is something that you can shift in yourself, but it's going to be hard. I was trying on and off to do this for years, and I did. Like, there would be periods, but I would go from like one stimulus to another. So my vice, okay, hold up, it's steep. My vice was like, went from video games to like sex, I would say, right? So instead of video games, well, there was something beautiful there too. Exploring intimacy, exploring relationships, something I really wanted. And then when my life got really hard again, I was juggling between going on the computer all the time and then going out and partying, not drinking or anything, like no alcohol, but like just a lot of, just like my whole life was just trying to meet women and get validation. And yeah, so like I was running away from myself, right? And so that was me. It was hard. And so I tried to cut, like wean off the dependency of both screens and validation which screens can give that to us now. Like you can just post a picture on the internet, get likes and stuff. So like that's crazy. But anyways, yeah, so what was that process? Well, there was a defining moment that really changed my life. I'm in California, so weed's illegal. So I smoked some weed. I had a friend show me, guide me in that. And then I smoked weed one time when I played World of Warcraft. And I just realized like how detrimental to my life. Like it needed to cut. Like if I didn't cut it now, it would run my life forever. Like I was level 69. No, 69. It was when Burning Crusade was re-released. Like there was like a vanilla ×2 or whatever. And so what happened was I was level 69 and like I just wanted to hit 70 and then quit. But then I smoked weed and I had like the clarity of mind in that one moment that I needed to quit no matter what. Like, so it was so hard for me. You don't understand. Like my whole life was this game. That was 24/7. But I was getting to the point where my suffering was so bad. Like I was trying to quit so much. So I was trying to quit for months, but I just didn't find like the willpower to do it. And then smoking the weed got me in contact with all of the pain I was in, which I'm not recommending you guys to do. I'm just sharing my story of what happened to me. And anyways, it showed me just how fucking terrible it was. It was like, and then I was like, no, this has to happen now, because if, like, I knew that was a state of mind gifted by smoking, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, there has to be, like, I have to take action now. I can't wait till I'm level 70. There's always a next thing. And that's always how it's been with me. There's always been a next thing. So that's me knowing myself, right? And to give you guys kind of like an understanding of like what suffering I was dealing with. Oh, I mean, there's so much. But like my dad died during that time. And before then, my parents were going through a divorce. And like I was just a kid, it felt like. How old was I? Well, I mean, all of this was happening and I just didn't know how to deal with any of it. And then there's a lot more there too. Like there's a lot more to that story. But yeah, anyways, so I was dealing with a ton of stuff that I just didn't know how to handle. Like a ton of grief, a ton of insecurities, a ton of low self-esteem. And my whole life I've been trying to find a way to feel better about myself my whole life. But I just didn't know how. And I was on screens pretty much my whole life. Like that was always, I wouldn't go outside and play, so yeah, that was my past. Now I'm not, like, that's pretty extreme. And I just wanted to share that to give you guys kind of a perspective of where this is coming from. And so like, I really know the adverse effects of it. And now on the flip side, I feel like I really get to experience life. Like if I want to do something, even if it's really painful or hard, I remember I'll go for it. I remember when I was in that state, like the desolate, playing video game state. This was my dream. It was about the willpower behind it. My dream was like, I wanted to take a cooking class, which I actually haven't done yet. It's not that important to me. I'd still like to do it, but my dream was just to have the energy to take a cooking class. That's it. All I wanted to do was go outside and take a cooking class. Like the fact that I could do something for myself, right? And in that space, I really felt like I could do nothing for myself. And so, yeah, that's where I'm coming from. And now, even though this may seem like a little extreme and maybe not aligned to your situation, there's tidbits of it. You don't know how much energy is being taken away with the computer screens and stuff until you cut it out, right? Until you allow yourself, you don't know what's hiding underneath there. Even if you think you do, you don't, right? So like you tell an alcoholic to quit alcohol, it's like he doesn't know what problems he's avoiding. He just drinks every time he feels that urge, right? And so it's the same with screens. And I am also quite lost again. This area is not clear. in the route, but I think it's that way. Oh yeah, I recognize that rock, I believe. Oh. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'd like to start wrapping up this video. So I talked a lot about myself, so you guys could understand where I'm coming from. So what would I suggest to you guys to start minimizing computer screen time? Because I know it's hard. Well, it's about confronting your emotions. So like as I said earlier in the video, the first thing you could start to notice is every time you use it. And that'll just give you awareness of like, oh, this was a moment I avoided something. Okay. And then in the future, like, you can be very kind to yourself. You don't have to be hard on yourself. The first step is always awareness, right? So once you have the awareness that, okay, I have these feelings, or I have this uncomfortability or pain or whatever it might be that I am avoiding, once you just start to notice it, okay, I'm whipping my phone out at these moments and this is why. As you gain more awareness for that, you will be able to disengage from that pattern, because it won't be like a subconscious pattern anymore. It won't just be something that's happening, you know. It won't be something that's like autopilot happening. You don't know why. You're like, oh, I did the thing. Okay, oh, I did the thing. And then in a moment, you'll be like, oh, I really feel like looking on my screen. And in that moment, you can either decide, I will do it or I won't do it. And either is fine, right? It might be too hard to say no, but you will have to take that leap of faith to say no at least one time. And if you can say no one time, you'll be able to say no again. And now I don't want you to go too hard with yourself, because this is something that is a process that's built up. You know, you don't have to instantly say no. Like, this is a process that takes time, because the habit to look at screens took time, right? And so be patient with yourself. And and that first no, it might be very difficult. Maybe it'll be very easy. But the thing that'll get you to stay saying no, right? And only use screens when as like a treat or as a reward, or, you know, like sometimes you might have a hard day and that's fine. Like, I'm not saying no screens at all, but I'm trying to get the link of the brain to like avoid emotions from screens here. You know what I mean? And it's okay if it's still there a little bit. I mean, we're not perfect, and that's perfectly fine. This is just the process of having more power over yourself and being empowered. That's all I'd like to give you, to be more empowered. You can still engage in this pattern after you realize how to not engage with it. And anyway, so now that that's said, when you say no, it will be uncomfortable, and you will feel bored, and you will feel, I don't know, like, you know, all those things you've been avoiding will come up. And so I'm telling you, if you say no, you're not going to feel amazing at first. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll congratulate yourself. You'll be like, yes, I said the no. But now all the things you've been avoiding will come up. So I want to let you know that it's okay if, it doesn't feel the best. I want to be there for you here. Like, remember this. After you say no, there's going to be a million reasons why you should go on the screen again. Maybe. You know what I mean? There might be a lot of things that come up, right? And sticking to your choice, I promise you, all of that uncomfortability, it will pass eventually, just as every single emotion always passes that you've ever had. You know, just take one day. You go through so many emotions in just one day, even just through this video. You know what I mean? So I promise you that uncomfortability will pass, and you facing it, you feeling it, you saying no, and then being like, whoa, I really want to, and then maybe like real things will come up. Like, you know, you need to check a recipe or something, or you need to use your alarm. Like, there will be all of these ways that you might try to convince yourself to use it or to need it. Oh, what if this person calls me? Oh, what if, what if I miss an important text? I promise you it'll be fine. I promise you, like, don't let this phone own you, right? Like, this little phone, right? It can own you, right? When you're indebted to it, when you're looking like, oh, well, who will call me? Who will text me? I need to be available all the time. It owns you. You are in charge of when you want to talk to people. You are in charge of when you want to, communicate with people, you know? Like, that is, I want to give you that power back, because that's yours in the first place. Before these phones existed, if you wanted to meet someone and hang out with them, you just say it, you know what I mean? Like, you'd go to them. You wouldn't have like, oh, you wouldn't have this phone around you all the time to be available 24/7. Like, holy shit, man, that's to need to be available 24/7. That sucks. That's not how we're wired. We need our space. We need our alone time too. And if we're always like on alert for like emails and shit, like how unnatural is that? Just think about it. Do you ever get space just for yourself to not worry about other people? If you do, fucking amazing. If the phone doesn't do that to you, then big props. Like, that's huge. But a lot of the time it's not the case. And how can you prove it? If you can put the phone away for a day and you can be completely content with it, you can say, okay, it doesn't own your life. And then there's no problem with putting it away and you have nothing to prove. So you don't even have to do it. But if you actually want to test yourself, then that's a good way to test it. If you put your phone away and you're honest with yourself and you say, oh, you know what? That day was no less comfortable than other days. And I guarantee you, even me, we all have some attachment to our phones. I wanted to throw my phone in the ocean. I didn't do it because, I need this phone for videos and stuff, which, again, like, I'm still sorting this out within my life. Like, how do I want my relationship with my phone to be? So I don't have it all figured out, but this is a way step forward that I've taken that also allows me to have such a full life. Like, I was a farmer for the last 3 months. I did dancing, singing, karaoke, swimming in the ocean, like making friends, laughing with people, crying with people. Like it's been fucking phenomenal. Like actually the past like 2.5 years have been like that for me. That's when I made the shift, And so like I'm always sinking deeper into it. Again, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I go on my phone. Like last night, I couldn't sleep at all and I was on my phone and that was okay. So, but anyways, that is what I have to say about that. And I know this was a long video. I hope it gave some perspective on things. I know at first I was talking about the euphoria of this hike. And then it turns about phones. And I mean it, man. This shit, people are talking about it. They don't talk about it to this level, and there's much deeper levels even than this. They say like phones are the tobacco of the time. Like, you can say that, but if you don't see how, you gotta see how. You gotta see how they're damaging. Because if you just say that, you're not gonna listen to that shit. If you say my phone is damaging, but you don't understand how deep, and when you're in it, you can't see it. You know how you can see how damaging your phone is? If you throw it away for a week, if you throw it away for a year, man, that's how you can see what, like, you know what I mean? Again, it's not clear cut because we don't use mail and stuff anymore. Like, how are you going to contact your friends and stuff? So it's not black and white, but there's so much damage that comes from these phones. And I just want to highlight that. Like, I just want to illustrate a point. And so, yeah, the more you see it, the more you see what effects your phone has on you, the more power you'll have over it. I promise you that pain is there for you. That uncomfortability is there for you. That uncomfortability is there so you will revolutionize your life for the best. So you'll have more energy, so you'll be happier, so you'll have more profound and deeper relationships, so you'll have a deeper connection to the universe, like, and to your purpose, to whatever you're supposed to do. Like, all of this is here for you. It's all here for you. All of these feelings are here for you to learn, to grow. They're here to guide you. And when we cut ourselves off from that, we also cut ourselves off from being guided. And it might not be easy sometimes, and it might be hard to admit, and we all have blind sides to our emotions, but they're here for you. And I want to impart that with you. These things are here for you to make your life better and better and better. And so you'll feel more free, and you will be able to connect with more people, and especially with the people that you love. You know, your mother, your father, your brothers or sisters, your best friend. You'll have deeper and deeper relationships with them. And so, yeah, that's my nature talk. We found the road. We have about maybe, 5 more hours of hiking, I'd say. Hopefully the phone doesn't die. It will surely get dark here. But man, is it gorgeous. So anyways, Sean, over and out. Good job sticking to this video this long. And I wish you the best. If you do want to make an action, and right now there's a feeling of what if I do it, you got to make the decision now. You know what I mean? Like, if you have clarity, at the end of this video, use this video as the impetus, you know, as the nidus. That's a new word I learned. As the start of you can use this energy here that you feel within yourself from this video as the start. If you're like, oh, tomorrow the energy may fade, maybe it won't, but I'm just giving you guys the opportunity. If you feel excited about this, you can use that excitement right now to make that decision. And that's very, very powerful. Like that feeling of elevation you may feel from hearing this, maybe endearment, or if this is how you feel towards trying to start cutting screens, you can just say, now, I'm making that decision now, and I will start to shed awareness when I use screens. And even I'm using this moment now to give up like this hobby I have, or this habit I have that I haven't wanted, and deep down that you've known. So and the way I acted that out is I put all of my shit in the closet, and I told a friend, I was like, hey, if I take it out within 15 days, like, you have the right to like smash it or something, you know? That's what I did. That's a little intense, but I also knew I wouldn't take it out no matter what. So that's the resolve I had. And again, you don't have to make that commitment now, but if you do have that energy and you do feel excited, that is a very powerful moment for you. So with that said, let's get this bread. Let's make our lives as fucking beautiful as they can be. And I'll see you in the next video. Sean over and out. Bye.